Mufasa was awesome. Hey guys, so last night my wife and I went to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Before we move on, I just want to let you guys know that this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on some things, but I'm not going to spoil what actually happens in the movie when I bring those moments up. As a huge Sonic fan, I've been waiting forever for this movie to come out, and I've been hearing all these great things about it before I saw the movie. All these Sonic fans got to go see the movie early, movie critics, all that stuff. I'm hearing nothing but great things. And were they right? Oh yeah, they were right. So first, let's start with the characters. Ben Schwartz as Sonic continues to be absolutely fantastic. He was really good in this movie, and the reason why is because while he does still make jokes, you know, you have that one famous joke he says that no one really liked.
Konnichiwa?
This movie, Sonic felt the most mature at least at the very end. At the very end, he had some very good mature moments, and some more serious moments, and I really, really like that. I like how they're kind of maturing him more as the movies go on. I also feel like they gave Tails a lot more to do, which is great because Colleen O'Shaughnessy is fantastic as Tails. Out of all the current actors for Sonic games, she is my favorite as Tails. And I just feel like in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Tails didn't do much. Tails did stuff, but not really. This movie, I feel like Tails did a lot more, which I really like. And then there's Idris Elba as Knuckles. Honestly, he might be my favorite character at this point. After the Knuckles series, even though I really didn't care for that series all that much, I still really like Knuckles in it. And after this movie, I'm just always excited to see what he's going to say, what he's going to do, because he's funny, he's really, really awesome in the movies, and in this movie he continues to shine, and I remember the first time I heard Idris Elba was going to be Knuckles, I was just like, I'm not too sure about that casting, and it took me a while, but now I love it. And before we move on to Jim Carrey doing what he does in this movie, I want to talk about Shadow, because Shadow, as you know, is huge. It's a huge deal that he's in this movie. And let me tell you, they did Shadow justice. From the directing, the writing, Keanu Reeves as Shadow, nothing was wrong. And that's crazy to say because there are some characters in these movies where you're like, I love him, but I don't like that he did this. Shadow, I was like, they're just getting everything right. It's crazy. The only thing they maybe got a little bit quote unquote wrong is that they change up some of his origin story points, but they're nothing bad. It's nothing where you're like, oh, that's not right at all. It's very minor things, and I understand why they made those changes. It makes sense, but it does not ruin Shadow's character at all. Okay, so now we got Jim Carrey. As you know, we also have in the trailers, he is Eggman, and he's also Gerald. Once again, he does a pretty good job at being Eggman, this evil, crazy scientist, and he does a pretty good job at Gerald, basically being an older version of Eggman. However, because it's Jim Carrey playing two different roles, interacting with one another, the movie really takes advantage of that. And I get it. I'm not gonna lie, there were some moments where I was like, that's pretty funny. I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying their interaction. But there are some parts in the movie where they were trying to do a funny thing with both of them, and it's like, okay, can we just move on? It didn't ruin the movie at all. It's nothing as bad as some of the other more cringier jokes in the first two movies. But there was some points where I was like, okay, we get it, let's go. Otherwise, all the other side characters in the movie did a good job. They weren't in it as much, but when they were in it, they did a solid job. Okay, so now the plot. What's the plot of the movie? Well, what happens is Shadow escapes Prison Island, Team Sonic has to go stop him before Shadow and Gerald blow up Earth. That's pretty much the basic premise of this movie. I'm not going to go into too much details. The one thing I will say about the plot is that, and I know I'm kind of jumping the gun here a little bit, but just hear me out for a second, the second act of the movie. It's not bad. There's still some good stuff that happens, good action, good jokes, all of that. But it's definitely the worst part of the movie, I'd say. If I had to give a part to give, it would be that. And it's not because it's bad, like I said. It's because the first and third act are amazing. Believe me when I say I was smiling and had my jaw dropped for both acts, first and third act. It was insane. The action was awesome. It was just like, I cannot believe I'm seeing this on the big screen right now. Just, yeah, the first act was just awesome. And then, like I said, it gets into the second act and starts to slow down and starts to develop more things, which I get why they had to do it. But it's just, the first act was so good. And then, like I said, the third act is maybe even better. It probably is better, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Because they did something that really hit home. I'm not going to say what it is, but something that I was really, really hoping for, not knowing if they actually do it, and they did. And let me tell you, I want to react just like that one clip of Peter Griffin. I was so excited, I wish I could stand up and clap, but I didn't want to make a scene. So that happens, and I'm all excited, I'm all jacked, and then it cuts away from it. And I'm like, okay. But then it goes back to it. I'm like, yay! And then it goes away from it. And I'm like, why? It does not ruin the moment at all, and it does not ruin the overall movie, but I really wish they wrote it a little bit better so that when the hype starts, it continues on for a whole scene or section, and then those parts that it cuts away to, that was its own long scene. I wish they did not have to cut it up. I wish they could just do hype scene, and then the very less hype scene, but just let that play out. I think it would have made a big difference. I don't know what else I can say more about this movie, guys. I love the characters. I love the plot, the action. The jokes were actually really good. Like I said, Knuckles is the funniest character by far in this movie. I just, as a Sonic fan, I don't think... Well, you could ask for more. There's always more to give. But if you're a Sonic fan and you walk out of this movie very upset, I don't think you're a Sonic fan. So go check yourself. Seriously, guys, the movie was great. I cannot wait to go see it again. It's just crazy to see how these movies just keep getting better and better for Sonic fans. And I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with everything else down the road. I may be, just saying this because I'm all still hyped up on everything, but as somebody who loves movies, who loves the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, I gotta give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. It does not disappoint if you love Sonic the Hedgehog. Please go see the movie as soon as you can. Avoid spoilers. There are 2 post-credit scenes, so stay till the very, very end of the credits because you do not want to miss them. One more thing I have to say, and this is just a me personal thing, but my favorite song of all time is 99 Red Balloons by Goldfinger, and that is the song that plays during the first scene with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. This movie was made for me. So that's going to be my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I absolutely loved it. Please go see it as soon as you can. And if you've already seen it, let me know in the comments down below, without spoiling things, what were your thoughts on the movie? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.